Hi, my name is Tawny Wilson, and today I will be presenting my research proposal, Wind Energy on the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. Is this the economic answer the tribes have been looking for? My research question explores, could wind energy create a self-sustainable economy on the Rosebud Sioux Tribe in South Dakota, creating jobs and long-term economic growth? Also taking a look at, will wind power generate enough revenue for long-term growth? Will wind power alone create enough jobs? Do the tribes have the human capital to effectively develop and maintain the technology? And due to the more rural locations on the reservations and the cost to create the infrastructure to move the power, does this make economic sense for the tribe? Rodney Bordeaux, the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council president, said that with the proposed 30-megawatt wind farm, we can become a major player in wind in South Dakota. The question is wind energy the answer? Here is a developing picture of the first 750 kilowatt wind turbine located by the Rosebud Casino. This is after the turbine has been up and functioning. This turbine powers the Rosebud Casino in South Dakota near the Nebraska border, which was built in 2003. The turbine supplies an annual average of 80% of the electrical needs to the Rosebud Casino and Hotel. The excess energy is sold to a regional electric cooperative. The owner of the wind energy project is the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, and the interconnection of the first turbine will be the Rosebud Casino through the Cherry Todd Electric Cooperative to Rushmore Electric Power Cooperative, and then Basin Electric Power Cooperative, which is interconnected to the Western Area Power Administration. My research proposal case, when it comes to American Indian tribes in South Dakota, a policy issue that remains constant and critical is the creation of economic development on tribal lands. This is an important research topic as the Rosebud Sioux Tribe could be a model or a case study as to what other tribes might expect with wind development. If successful, the Rosebud Sioux Tribe can provide other tribes with outcome data and insight into how to accomplish wind development and long-term sustainability and be on the forefront of sustainable wind energy. Research done by the Harvard Project on American Indian Economic Development has shown since the passage in 1975 of the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act, federal American Indian policy in the United States has been aimed at promoting self-determination through self-governance by federally recognized tribes. This policy has proven to be the only policy that has worked to make significant progress in reversing otherwise distressed social, cultural, and economic conditions in Native communities. The research has also shown that tribes must take the first step toward sustainability with a diversified economy, and the tribes must be able to determine the needs of the tribe without outside influence, which will create the most productive and sustainable progress. Here we have a list of the poorest counties in the country, and as you'll notice, all 5 counties that I've highlighted listed in South Dakota all lie within Indian reservations. We have number 1, the poorest county in the country, and this was according to the U.S. Census Bureau data, is Buffalo County, which is the Crow Creek Sioux Indian Reservation. We then have Shannon County, which is the Ogallala Sioux Indian Reservation. We have Ziback County, which is the Cheyenne River Sioux Indian Reservation. We have Todd County, which is the Rosebud Sioux Indian Reservation. And then number 7 there, we have Corson County, which is actually part of the Standing Rock Sioux Indian Reservation. So as you can see, the top 10 counties in the country, 5 of them listed in South Dakota, are Indian reservations. American Indians residing on reservations remain the poorest group in America. Accompanying Indian poverty have been indicators of social and economic stress, like high rates of suicide, poor health, poor to little to no housing opportunities, high crime rates, as well as high dropout rates. There is an undeniable need for job creation through economic development and creating sustainable long-term economic growth. My proposed research design is utilizing qualitative research with case study research design method. My sampling study population is the Rosebud Sioux tribe. And the actual sampling population would be the 8 tribes in South Dakota, which is the Cheyenne River Sioux, the Crow Creek Sioux, the Flanjou Santee Sioux, Lower Brule Sioux, the Ogallala Sioux, the Sisseton Waktons Oyate, the Standing Rock Sioux, and the Yankton Sioux. Data was collected from multiple methods. One of those methods would be the interview method. The participants for the interviews were Rodney Bordeaux, the Rosebud Sioux Tribe President, Ken Hawkes, whom is the Wind Farm Coordinator, Bill Two Eagle, who is the Resource Development Director, Tony Rogers is the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Utilities Director, Dale Osborne is President of Distributed Generation Inc. They are the company helping the tribe facilitate these wind farms, as well as Belvin Pete, and he is the Distributed Generation Inc. project manager. Other methods used were documents as well as observation. I actually had the opportunity over Thanksgiving break to go and observe the wind turbine at the Rosebud Casino. And unfortunately, at the present time, the turbine was not working because of mechanical problems. Ken Hawkes, the wind farm coordinator, had stated it keeps heating up and shutting itself off, but they are working on getting that turbine back up and running. Sampling. Who do you want to generalize to? In this case, it would be the Indian tribes in South Dakota, which would be the theoretical population. What population can you get access to, which is the Rosebud Sioux tribe as the study population? How can you get access? Through interviews, document review, and observations would make up the sampling frame. Who is in your study? The study consists of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Wind Energy Project, which is the sample. Measurements, or the types of measurements that were used, are survey research, design and implementation of the interviews, as well as qualitative data, in-depth interviews, document review, written documents, and observations were used. The Rosebud Sioux Tribe Wind Energy Project has 3 phases, with only the first phase being complete. Phase number 1, which is the 1999 project, it's the first Native American-owned wind turbine, which is 750 kilowatts, installed by the Rosebud Casino to supply 80% of electrical needs to the casino, as well as other regional electric cooperatives. Phase 2, which is the 2003 project, the second turbine project is anticipated to be a 30 megawatt energy project for energy export into a larger electricity market, currently in pre-construction development activities. And then we have Phase 3, which is a 2010 project. The third wind turbine project is a proposed 190 megawatt energy project, which will produce major electric output. Here we have a wind resource map of South Dakota, and as you can see, the Rosebud Sioux Indian Reservation, listed down there by numeral 7, actually sits in excellent and slight outstanding wind power classifications. You'll see the other reservations throughout the state, and they all lie within excellent to outstanding conditions. So it's a really great opportunity for the Indian reservations to take advantage of based on this wind resource map. The data analysis of the project, with the first 4 years of completing phase 1 through 3, the tribe will yield almost $25 million, primarily through developers' fees and taxes, along with the projected revenue stream for the first 4 years. For the next 16 years, the tribe will yield $1.2 million per year with the 20-year lifespan. The cost of construction alone will input $15 million into the tribe. During the construction phase, 100 workers will be employed for about a year. Beyond construction, the wind farm will sustain approximately 15 jobs in operations and maintenance through the project lifespan. Potential challenges, the first being unpredictable cultural boundaries sometimes separate Indian tribal leaders who have access to the wind and non-Indian business executives who raise the money to build and install the turbines, make the deals to transmit the electricity, and also find the buyers. Another potential challenge is educating the tribal council and local public on the benefits from the renewable wind project. The tribal council and administration terms, they end every 2 years, which makes it really difficult to educate the council knowing that they will be cycled out within a couple of years. It's hard to keep them informed of how the project started, was funded, and has been developing. Also understanding the economies of the wind project, researching and finding funds. Limitations of this particular research approach. The limitations of my research approach is utilizing a case study design method while the case is still being studied. Case studies have been viewed in the evaluation and research fields as less rigorous than other methods, as qualitative research is still considered unscientific by some, and in many cases, case study researchers have not been systematic in their data collection or have allowed biases in their findings. So I hope that I have limited those particular limitations with my project. The conclusion that this project has come to: will wind power generate enough revenue for long-term growth? Yes, absolutely yes. In fact, it looks like with these projects coming into fruition, the tribe will have more and more opportunity with that. Will wind power alone create enough jobs? Around 100 jobs short-term will be created, and 15 to 20 long-term, with the possibility of more jobs being added with further wind project developments. Do the tribes have the human capital to effectively develop and maintain the technology? Yes, they do. With training from the local colleges, the capital is there. In fact, the tribe has made an agreement with Mitchell Technical Institute to recruit and train students from the reservation to learn the necessary skills in wind turbine technology. They can actually receive their certificate in training from the Mitchell Technical Institute, as well as the local Indian Community College, Sinte Gleshka University, will also offer wind turbine training. And let's see, due to the more rural locations on the reservations and the cost to create the infrastructure to move the power, does this make economic sense for the tribe? Yes, it does. So back to my original research question: could wind energy create a self-sustainable economy on the Rosebud Sioux tribe in South Dakota, creating jobs and long-term economic growth? Yes. In fact, based on the current development of the current phases in construction, Citizens Wind has made the tribe an offer to build a 1,000 megawatt wind farm in phases, costing approximately $2.2 billion. A large global conglomerate has already committed to finance 50% of the project. If this current offer is brought into fruition, the tribe would see revenues at 5 times the 190 megawatt project. This would dramatically boost the tribe's economy, creating a long-term nation-building economy. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you as an audience, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks and have a great day.